Hi. Do you know what the beep on a Siemens Condensating Tumbledryer means? My tumbledryer was working fine, but now it just makes one beep and nothing happens.
Hi, can you post the full model number please? Also, is the dryer jet not starting at all? Regards.
Siemens S465E near. WT46S511DN/03. The machine is not starting at all. I get the normal indications in the display and start button. But when I press start it just beep. The belt around the drum is okay, and when I rotate the drum manually the resistance is normal. Hi, by the way, correction, it makes two beeps, not one as indicated earlier.
Thanks for that. If you look on the display screen, do you see a picture as a key?
No. When I turn the program selector, I get the 7 kilograms indication and then it turns to show the remaining time for the selected program.
Okay, if it isn't starting and you get a double beep, this is usually the child lock is activated. Just try this and see what happens and let me know. Press and hold the menu button for several seconds and see what happens from there.
When menu button is pressed and hold for several seconds, I get the key symbol, child lock active, in the display. When pressed again and hold, the child lock is deactivated.
Okay, so that rules out the child lock then. So are you able to select different cycles on the front so it shows different times as you turn the dial? Other than the beeps, do you hear any other news as you try and start it?
I can select all cycles and it shows different times for the various cycles. I do not hear anything else with pressing the start button, apart from beeping. When this first occurred, I opened the door while a cycle was running, and when I closed it again and pressed start, it just beeped. I take it there is not a door sensor on the door as it has no latching lock as opposed to the washing machines. Is there a reset function for this machine? On my washing machine there is a combination of steps to do in order to clear some fault messages, but I have not found anything on the tumbledryer.
There is a micro switch on the door lock, as if you look on the door on the inside there will be a plastic pin that goes into a hole on the dryer front and pushes the door switch. Check that pin hasn't snapped off and it is pushing into the door lock. As if it isn't, then that could be why it's beeping, as it thinks the door is open so it won't start. This won't be a case of resetting the control unit, as this only works to clear error code plus that's on washers, as I don't think these dryers to it.
Pin and microswitch are intact. I hear the microswitch click when I manipulate it with a flathead screwdriver. Locking pin also intact. For information, I still have the side panel off, but I have not seen any proximity sensors/devices which will prevent the machine to run.
The sensor is the door switch, which you hear when you use the screwdriver, so we know that's working there. So as that's okay and it isn't the child lock, then I'm afraid it's all pointing to the main control board at fault here. Without seeing it I cannot be 100% sure, but if everything in there seems to be working okay, then it's looking like the electronic control board is the fault here, as this comes as a complete unit you just swap over. Sorry, it's not looking like good news here.
Looks like that. I have never replaced the brushes on the motor on the machine and it is approx 8 to 9 years old. What will be the symptoms of worn-out brushes? Just grasping at cheaper solutions here.
I'm afraid tumbledryers don't have brushes. They use a capacitor to kick-start them, and if that fails, what you find is the dryer still starts and heats but just sits there humming. I'm afraid it is looking like the electronic control is at fault here.
I came to same conclusion when looking at the parts list. Thanks for your assistance. Looking at the price for a new controller board, I think a new Tumbledryer is the best choice.
Yep, that's more than likely the better option, as it's not worth spending the money on 8 to 9-year-old dryer. The money will go a long way towards a new dryer here.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert, now visit justanswer.com/YTHI.